Hello, More Than Small Talk friends. This is Jennifer. Each week, we share a little more encouragement as a follow-up to our latest episode. Today, I'm reading some thoughts from my book. Tears streamed down my face as I read a message from an old friend of mine. She said, I have no advice or even perspective. Just know that the Jennifer I've been seeing the past few months seems much more authentic and more like the girl I knew before you became the girl you were supposed to be. So I hope beyond anything else that you find peace and joy because you deserve that. As I read her thoughtful, empowering words, I felt safe enough to share what I was going through and why her message meant so much to me. I've always been a fierce advocate for others, but perhaps for the first time in my life, I was learning how to fiercely advocate for myself. I wanted healthiness and balance to be the new standard in my life. Work, family, relationships, friendships, balance, and boundaries. But this time, I wouldn't be able to erase the lines in the sand, even if that meant losing a few people along the way. Something in my friend compelled her to reach out and check on me. She told me she promised herself that she would always listen to her inner voice, but quickly added that I could tell her to butt out if I wanted to. In the hardest season of my life, she reminded me how much we all liked that girl. It's funny how you can feel seen and known, but also very sad when confronted by something you assume that no one else had noticed. It felt like role reversal of the standard imposter syndrome when someone feels like a fraud. But in my case, the girl I was supposed to be was the biggest fraud of all. I immediately wrote back and low-key overshared with my friend, who I hadn't seen in decades. What my friend typically puts out there for the world to read will either challenge your belief system or make you laugh so hard you'll pee your pants. She is a force to be reckoned with and subtle like a freight train. But what I love most about her is how big her heart is and how bravely she shares her stories that are the hardest to tell. When I first received her message, I felt emotional because I felt seen and loved. But my secondhand emotion was more jarring. Did everyone know that I wasn't okay? Was it that obvious? But the real question was, why did I care? Because I wasn't okay. I was trying hard to mend by placing myself on a better path to healing. I wasn't even trying to be okay. I learned that there are certain things that we shouldn't be okay with. So after years of saying it's okay to not be okay, I started asking, but why though? What if something that's happening to us isn't okay? Shouldn't we do something about it? Taking care of your mental health is a party of one. It's figuring out what you need and why you need it. It's taking a deeper look at what makes you feel emptiness. And the emptiness you feel isn't telling you that there's something blatantly wrong with you. That's the lie we easily buy into. The emptiness is telling you to pay attention to why and what makes you feel that way. But here's the kicker. You'll have to do something about it. I can't tell you how many times I've heard incredible people say, if they really knew who I was, they wouldn't love me. I feel like this is the lie that trumps all lies, that our sometimes needy and perfect self is unlovable to the core. That's why we have to work so hard against the girl who mirrors our insecurity and flaws to outperform her. This has been my least favorite lessons to learn, to realize that the biggest thing standing in my way was myself. And to fight for myself instead of with myself, I had to learn how to respect and honor how God designed me to be. The girl you think you're supposed to be is the most miserable person on the face of the planet if her worth depends on equally flawed people and their distorted opinions of the girl that you're supposed to be. I used to ignore or dismiss those feelings of being unlovable when they rose to the surface of my heart, but that only stifled growth in my life, so I began to confide in safe friends. If I could sit across from you right now, I would tell you that you're too hard on yourself, but this wouldn't surprise you. You already know that, but I wonder if you know that all the best and the worst parts of you are worth knowing, worth loving, and worth understanding why the certain aspect of your life or relationships cause you to shut down or make you react strongly. You feel pressed. If you loved all your messy parts and knew what you needed to love yourself a little better on the days when you don't like the girl you see in the mirror, maybe you'd really see her, all of her, and make that girl a priority. We all have things about ourselves that we don't like, and some of them are silly, while others feel like the bane of our existence. But those places of weakness are also connected to our greatest strengths, and I believe it's time to tend to our hearts in a way that brings us healing, not more shame and condemnation. I'm going to give you a quick little reading assignment. Read Psalms 139 and take time to listen to each and every line of this. You are so loved. You're fearfully and wonderfully made. And God loves you very much. And so do your friends here at More Than Small Talk. You can find what I read today in my book, What If You're Doing Better Than You Think? Finding Courage and Confidence When Life is Messy. Holly, Susie, and I will have another episode for you real soon. Thanks for listening.